And welcome back to Mike Ferry TV. This is week number 6 in our 6-week series, April 24th, and we are back in Las Vegas. It was a 6-week trip. We ran around the world, a lot of fun. Serena says to me, let's not do that again. I said, we'll do it again next year because that's what we do. So we're excited because, we're getting closer now, here we are in mid-April, to doing our Superstar Retreat, which we moved it back a little bit this year. Instead of being that first week in July, we're the first week in August. And people have asked, why did you move the retreat back? Well, we moved it back because this year and next year, we're only going to do one retreat, in Las Vegas around this time, 1st of August. Why aren't you doing two like you've done in the past? Well, we were challenged with trying to get the kind of location down in southeastern Florida that we felt was worthy for you. We had many years at the Diplomat Hotel, beautiful place, but it wasn't available, so we looked around. We're going to do one. We'll be back in Florida in a couple of years. So in the meantime, come on out to Vegas. There's a lot of worse places you can have some fun and learn. This particular week 6 is a fun one because we have a young lady up out of Manhattan Beach, California, Tina Kaminski Phillips. Her father has been a 30-year client, Ed Kaminski, superstar agent. Actually does multiple things within the real estate industry. And she's a great protege of her dad and what he's trying to do. So she wrote, Mike, I don't have a top 10 list. I have a top 15 list. I said, okay. I guess maybe she's a little expressive. But her list was very impressive. And I saved it for week number 6 because I want to create as much impact as I can with you guys and gals during this week and make sure that each of us are taking these ideas and moving forward. Hopefully, you're taking good notes every week. You're paying very close attention to this entire process. Let's begin, okay? Point number 1 from Tina. I don't have to deal with nasty, rude people if I choose not to. Some people out there just aren't very nice. Some of the buyers and sellers, for whatever reason, had a bad day, had a bad week, had a bad life, and they want to take it out on you as a real estate person. You don't have to deal with nasty, rude people if you choose not to. However, if you don't prospect, are not involved in lead generation, you got to take whatever bits and pieces and scraps you get. But Tina prospects every day, so therefore, if somebody is not a nice person, she can pass on that, which I think is a bold step for each of you to take and move to the next prospect that you're going to work with. But listen to point number 2. Be part of the 30%, the great agents who select the seller. Now, let me tell you what I was talking about at the retreat. If we have 100% of the agents participating in the business on a given day, 70% of the agents walk in on a listing hoping and praying and begging that they get that listing. I mean, I'll do whatever I have to do. I'll say whatever I have to say. I just want the listing. I need the listing. I need the money. But I talked about the fact that about 30% of the agents are really the agents that you want to become part of. Because they'll walk into the house and they will decide if they're going to take the listing. Now, think about what I said. 70% of the agents are waiting for the seller to make the decision. Pick me, pick me, pick me. But 30% of the agents are walking in saying, let's see if this listing and this seller meets my standards of what I want to do in building my business. And Tina said, I want to be part of the 30%. Great point, Tina. Number 3. Listen with the intent of fully understanding what they have to say. So my next question then is the appropriate question. Listen with the intent of really understanding. Sometimes they say, can I ask you a question? They talk for 10 minutes. By the time they get done, you have no idea what the question is. Well, if you're not listening, you're never going to get to the point of drawing them back into the conversation you're trying to be in. So they have concerns, they have fears, they have worries as a seller. They have opinions that they want to express. I have to listen and understand what it is they're saying. And if I listen and understand, then I can move forward very quickly. Number 4, always under-promise and over-deliver instead of over-promise and under-deliver. It's a great point, Tina, and thanks for bringing it up, okay? I take a listing, I want to do more for the seller than what they anticipated. We do a seminar, like we did seminars the last 5 weeks all over North America and Europe. Each time I stand up for 3 or 4 days, they anticipate this and I want to give them that. That is my goal. I underpromise, I overdeliver. I want to give them more than they can deal with, they can handle. I want to fill your minds with great ideas. Tina wants to make a listing presentation by doing a good job and promising A, B, and C, but then completing the alphabet in that process. Number 5, I'm going to show my clients, listen to this, I'm going to show my clients my schedule and how basically that helps me outwork the competition. She walks into the house, has a schedule laid out. She shows them exactly what she does each day, all day long, and what part of that schedule applies to them in finding a buyer. That is a great sales point that separates you dramatically from the competition. Tina, thank you for that. Number 6, always be the calming force in every transaction. That wonderful, incredible superstar out of Salt Lake City, Joan Pate, who is now semi-retired, blissfully and thankfully for her. She's probably only doing about 75 deals a year because she's retired. Most of us want to get to that point where she's retired to. In Seattle, Washington, many years ago, I had her up on the stage, and you've heard me say this before, and I said, what is the most important thing, Joan, that you bring to the buyer and seller? And she smiled and said, I have to be the calming force in every transaction. Because they get a little sideways, they get a little squirrely, they get a little emotional, they get a little angry, they get a little upset, they get in a hurry. I have to calm them down because otherwise the transaction could break up, fall apart, or not close on time because of the anxiety. Always be the calming force in every transaction. Number 7, asking questions is the fastest way to get a seller to change their behavior. Well, let's see, they want open house every Sunday. They want you to put it on 92 websites. They want full-page ads. Let's see, they want a colorful 4-page flyer that is 9 colors. I guess they really want to make it good. And then they want to pay you a 3% commission, give you a 30-day listing, and they want to overprice it. Sounds like a regular listing, doesn't it? Well, the questions I ask, and if you look at the scripts, the questions help that seller get better focus on what they and you are trying to accomplish and do. So the questions I use are how we help them change their behavior. Next, I think we're on number 8, time to increase the number of listings I'm taking. It is time to increase. Well, she has a good business. She's done a great job, but she recognized that she has the capabilities, the skills to go out and increase her productivity. Okay, that superstar retreat for Tina was a big deal. She goes, I can increase the number of listings I take, and it is time to do it now. Boy, that's an interesting point. Number 9, listen to this, prospect for events. Now, I don't know how this came up, but I said to the audience at the retreat, prospect for events, not for sellers who just want to sell. Look for sellers that absolutely need to sell. They have to sell. They're going to be the most responsive. They're going to be the most productive. Okay, that is what I call an event. I found one. Okay, I got one. Okay, here's the event. I got a seller that has to sell and I can help them out. Next on her list, always, always, always increase your versatility. Take on those uncomfortable clients that make you feel really out of your box, out of your comfort zone, and learn to deal with them. Okay, now watch. People ask me all the time, how do I develop more versatility? Get out of your comfort zone. Get out of your box. Do things that make you uncomfortable. Quit having to be right. Set your ego aside for just a moment. Well, what Tina identified is if she takes on some of those clients that do make her uncomfortable, she's going to grow as a person and become better at what she does. Next point. Market will be more price sensitive now than ever before. Well, depending on where you are, in the U.S. or Canada, that is true. Some parts of the U.S., the market is going straight up. Some it's going straight down. You know, I mean, look at Toronto versus Miami. Toronto, the average home less in the market, about a minute. Miami, they have what, 3 or 4 years supply of condos for sale? So there's always price sensitivity, whether the market's going up or going down. So she is saying, I have to be more price sensitive to do the best job for the sellers that I'm working with, okay? Number 12, just because inventory is low, which it is in most of North America today, doesn't mean the market is great. Now think about that. In most of North America today, the inventory, number of homes for sale, is the lowest it's been in a long time. That doesn't mean the market's great. It means many times there is some confusion in the market. Okay, here we are in April. So in the US, we had a new president come into effect back in January. The market's still reacting because he's making changes based on what he wants to do, and the market reacts to that. So whether he's right or wrong is not the issue. We know that just because the inventory is low doesn't mean that the market's good. Interest rates could actually depress the market, okay? Buyers are looking at something else. Here we are in April, tax time. That slows things down, okay? Number 13, the long-forgotten seller's servicing system is reemerging. Or in essence, we got to go back to understanding the value of good, strong customer service. Because the stronger the service, the better off we are. She made a great point. Our goal should be to develop and deliver extraordinary customer service to every buyer, every seller, every prospect throughout the transaction. Okay, now, you've heard me say this before. The transaction closes, buyer and seller, everybody's happy. How often do they give you a standing ovation? You make a listing presentation. How often do they give you a standing ovation? Okay, when your service is so extraordinary that they go, this is unbelievable what you've done, we've accomplished something good. And number 14, price is not a one-time conversation with the seller, it's an every-time conversation. We've got to be prepared to discuss price on a regular basis. And number 15 on her list of top 10, never take no for an answer, because there's always a yes out there. And if I don't get that listing, somebody else will. If I don't make that sale, somebody else will. So I have to keep preparing myself to go after that transaction a little bit stronger. A lot of the sales trainers over the years have always said, you have to be told no at least 6 times to get a yes. I'm not sure if that's exactly right. I do know that you have to make a great presentation, and you make it to a highly qualified buyer or seller, and you make it precise and question-based. And if you do that, you're going to get your yes more often than the no. Our clients run about 70% of the time on a listing, they get a contract signed. NAR average is about 20 out of 100. Ours go 70 out of 100. That means both agents are working the same amount of time. It's just that our clients that are doing what we teach are getting paid 5 times more than the average agent. That will only happen when you perfect your presentation and don't take no for an answer. This has been a fun series. It's an interesting series. I could probably do this for the next 25, 40 weeks because we got virtually this many of these great top 10 lists. But I do want to remind you that if you're receiving these top 10 lists from me by email twice a month, 1st and 15th, read them, study them, keep them, put them in a book, make them part of your permanent record of great sales ideas. If you're not, keep watching Mike Ferry TV. Get more involved. Go to one of our seminars or retreats, download our scripts, go to the Superstar Retreat. You might meet some great people that can help you move forward, and you might help them move forward also. I will look forward to seeing you guys and gals next week. Thanks for participating in this 6-week series.